Hi there. Welcome to this week's Get Hooked on Strategy with me, LT. And this week we're going to be super quick because I am crazy busy and we also do not have a whole lot on the calendar. So we've gotten beyond this annual full checkup. So I'll show you what I mean in just a minute, but we are moving into the time of year where we can do a lot more just check-in and review. And this weekly check-in is what puts that strategy reminder and makes it a habit in our head so that if we do need to update something in the bigger picture, that we don't put it aside for 6 months and completely forget about it. So let me turn on screen share really quick. Actually, first things first, I'm getting ahead of myself as usual. To put on my timer. Even with the best intentions, I go over my 5 minutes. And let's go straight to end. Okay, let's try that again. And let me put on screen share and pop over to this week's templates and calendar. So as usual, you can find in the description the downloads for these templates. The first one is the overall big picture of the strategic plan and all of the steps that are required. The second thing is the related Google Calendar that has all of these steps laid out, either through their different time horizons. So Hooked on Strategy check-in videos, or if you are doing this in your own business, your weekly check-in, whether that's by yourself or with your team, via email, via however works for your company. This is another big thing that's important, and I'll just say this many times over, but a strategic plan is not one size fits all, and you have to do what works for you. And just like a diet plan or an exercise regime, it has to be tailored to what works for you. It doesn't work for everyone to check in on a video like this. It doesn't work for everyone to have the exact same dates on their calendar, but you need to have the different, each different task tailored to however it works for you. Let's see, in the calendar we have this week our weekly transaction check, and I have done that for last week. I can't really show you what that looks like either, because depending on how you do your finances, that's going to look different for you. So if you're a large company, you probably have a financial person who has their own reports and reviews and things to do. I have a QuickBooks account, so I'm just looking to see what I have due and what I've paid and make sure everything's in the right business account. And so that when I go to do my taxes, I don't have to go back and do 6 months or 4 months worth of work. So last week we had a risk review, and I'll just show you that template again really quickly. There are the 2 different levels here for beginner and advanced. And so someone who has an expert risk management person on their team, if you are like me, you're a sole business owner, you'll have a list here of potential risks, category that it falls into, and there's some examples on the first tab. And then, so what? So what if this risk occurs? And that's how you know how important it is to you, which then fills in this, and then how can you address it? So in a more advanced one, you have triggers, who it's associated to, what the cost might be as far as the potential impact. And like I said, this is someone's job to monitor this and look for what are called triggers to, if something happens, that would be an indicator that the risk is about to happen. And sometimes the risk can be a good thing, like too much work or not trained for a new job that you got. And those are risks that you need to identify. So other than that, the only thing we have is the quick transaction check coming up this week. So for next week, I'll probably do something more like, and I want to make this a habit, right? So I'm not, like I said, going to put this down for 4 months until the next thing comes up. I want to keep this in my mind. So what I'll probably do is look through this and see if there's anything that I think I need to change or update. I know I wanted to change the budget page to fit me better, so I think I might do something like that. So I'm not going to go with downtime. What I'm going to do is make sure that I'm ensuring that my strategic plan is flexible and that it works for me and that I'm staying on top of it. Because in this fast-paced world right now, if I put this away for 4 months, like I said, I'm going to have way more work to do than if I just spend these little bit of time checking in with it every week. So that's it for this week. Our homework then is to check your calendar, to make sure that you've done the risk review from last week at either level that you need to be at, and do your budget as always. And then we will check back in next week and maybe do a little bit of learning or improvement on this thing. I also want to do an an IDP, an individual development plan, which is separate from this, but it's still incorporated because my training and the things I want to learn are incorporated back. And that's where we are aligning things together. And so again, a strategic plan also doesn't mean I'm only looking at something in a vacuum or in a silo. I want to make sure I'm incorporating everything. So I'm going to let all of you go for today. That's my 5 minutes. And have a great week. And I'll see you at next week's check-in. In the meantime, I do have a promo. It's not listed on here, but if you are checking in and watching these videos, there is a promo for a $95 strategic evaluation. So we call, we talk, and I'll give you some feedback on what you're doing with your strategic plan. So have a great week. I'll talk to you later.